Welcome. This is the third week straight at 9 a.m. every weekday. I've been giving you valuable content, information that you can apply today in your business and see growth right away. But today, you've been posting every single day. You've been doing everything that you think you've been told. You've been consistent. You've been trying new things. You've been listening to everybody, but it's still not working. You're still not growing. And today, we are gonna break it down and tell you why your posting every day isn't working, or whatever your social media strategy is, isn't working. We're gonna break it all down. Let's go. Woo! Let's go. Today's a good day. A great weekend we had. We had the AI Business Summit. We killed it in there. We dropped 5 different gems that I ain't never dropped anywhere else. So I don't know if it's a replay or a VIP upgrade or whatever. You can get the recording, but go get the recording. I literally dropped 5 gems that I've never spoken about. And that was a great, thousands of people on there. And we had the AI, the Notion Engine.ai webinar, which was truly a success. We had almost 500 people in the building watching, showed all the different things in Notion. Denise even gave 50% off for her services to set up Notion for your business. So that was truly amazing. If you want to check it out, go to notionengine.ai. Or if you want the offer, go to notionengine.ai/offer and check it out. Truly dope. But today, I work with a lot of creators and they're like, I'm doing everything and it's just not working and they're stuck, right? And what happens is if you're stuck too long, eventually you just burn out and you'll stop posting. And what I realized is that it's not that you're posting every day, and stop posting every day. Stop. If you're posting every day and it's not growing, stop. That's first and foremost, stop. We gotta recalibrate. We gotta see what's working and what's not working, right? I talk about things called formats, right? Like I have a few formats that work for me. Like I posted a video yesterday and I posted a video the day before. I knew it was gonna do well because those are the formats that work for me. Once you understand the formats that work for you and you understand these formats by posting, right? So you have all these different things that you've posted, but you never really looked and seen what works, right? So you might be posting 1 or 2 things that work, but the rest of the 28 posts of the month are horrible, right? So let's take away those, right? Less is more. I want you to write that down. Less is more, right? That's a real thing. Less is truly more. And I'm gonna take quality over quantity every day of the week, right? One high quality post is so much better than 30 low quality posts. Let me give you an example. So I used to work out with this trainer, right? And he said something to me that hit me. Like, when someone tells you something and you like, damn, that's gonna stick with me forever. This is this one thing. So hopefully it can stick with you and you can understand. He says, you could do one push-up correct versus doing 20 incorrect push-ups. That one push-up, that correctly done one push-up is gonna be so much more effective than those 20 incorrect push-ups. What does that mean? Quality over quantity. Just because you did 20 bad push-ups doesn't mean you deserve more or you're gonna get more muscle versus your one good push-up, right? So, using that thing, we're gonna break it down, we're gonna go into it, all right? Let's get into it. That was from my webinar. It's better to be remembered once than ignored 20 times, right? If you put up one post and people know you for that one post versus you keep putting post after post after post and no one really sees you. Like, I could have the best brand in the world. I could be doing the best business in the world. But if no one sees me, it don't matter. You need attention. And I want to break down how do we get the right attention, right? First, you want attention, but how do you get the right attention? Like I can go on my Instagram and go jump around and do a dance and get attention, but we want the right attention. So let's break that down. 4 pillars, let's go. This is what I'm saying. You're on a content treadmill. You keep just putting the same thing out, and nothing's changing, right? And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Isn't that Brian Tracy? Jim Rohn. All right, so this is the thing. You're posting 20 times a week with mediocre content. It's not relevant to your audience. It's not connecting with your audience. It's not authentic. Pretty much, you're not going to connect, right? You're gonna go over people's heads, or you're gonna miss them, right? How do we change that? We take this noise, right? It's noise. It's valuable. We take this noise, right? And we pull back the layers on it, right? We see what worked, what didn't work, right? And 90% of it maybe it didn't work, but that 10% is valuable, right? Comments, look at the comments. See where people commented more, where people shared more. I'm gonna give you a hack. This is for another video, but educational content. I want you to put in the comments, what is the #1 metric to measure for educational content? What is the #1 metric? People might say comments, people might say shares. The #1 metric for educational content, hear me out, educational content is saves. Imagine when you see something that educated you or something that you want to come back and watch because you want to really grasp the message, right? You're going to save it so it goes in your saves. That's the #1 metric. That's for a whole nother video, but I'm giving you that today. The #1 metric for educational content is saves. So remember, when you're doing educational content, that's what you want to look at. When you're doing reels that are entertaining, you want to do shares. If it's funny, if it's entertaining, if it's inspiring, people want to share it and let people know they want to give that message out. If it's educational, people want to save it so they can go back and watch it. Just giving you bars. I'm just giving you bars here. All right? So, like Hormozy. Hormozy may post once a day, but those one post a day are so much better than 3 posts a day, 3 bad posts a day. Because he has a team now, but before he didn't. I'm sure he didn't. But now he has a team. He's going through everything. The whole team is making sure every piece of content is very intentional and it's going to talk to his audience. Very important. You want to talk to your audience. So, pillar #1, the audio experience. I always talk about audio, right? Audio is my #1 metric for quality. You have to have great audio. If the audio is bad, it will not resonate with the audience will not connect with it, and they will not watch it. I did a live a few weeks ago, and the audio was bad. I had to take down the live, fix the audio, and put it back up. That's how important audio is, right? Pillar #2, gotta have a clear, compelling message. Your context of your message has to be clear, understandable, and it has to connect and resonate with the people. If it doesn't, it's not going to work. It's simple. Think about when you explain it, you have to be able to explain it to a 5-year-old just as well as you can explain it to a 30-year-old, right? If I don't know what you said in 2 sentences, if I don't know what you're talking about in the first 2 sentences, it ain't working. It ain't hitting. So just think about that, right? #3 pillar, visuals. Obviously, it takes time. What was that glare? Oh, shoot, the light got on me. It takes time to get to this quality. It takes time, right? No one's asking to get to this high quality, right? From the gate. As you grow, you'll get better. But these iPhones is amazing. They're amazing, right? They're gonna give you good quality visuals. I'm gonna show you a couple hacks in this in a little bit, but visuals is the 3rd. And 4th, tell stories. Everything has to be a story. You know why? Because people remember stories. You'll be remembered for stories versus just putting out information. So, like I said, if I tell you something about audio, I might tell you a story about why, which I did. I told you a story how a couple of weeks ago, my audio was so bad, I had to take down the live, fix the audio, and put it up. Stories. And it don't got to be a long, drawn-out story. Just connect it with stories. Everything should be connected with stories. All right, let's get into this. Now we're going to break it down a little bit. Audio's number one priority. You have things like called Adobe Podcast. Write this down, Adobe Podcast. They can take bad audio and literally with AI, they take that bad audio and make it sound like it's in the studio quality. Don't know how they do it. It's AI, whatever it is. It's amazing. Download it, right? So that's just if you have bad. That's exactly what I did when I went back to my live that had bad audio. I downloaded the audio, took it, put it in Adobe Podcast, and then put it back up. So now you can get mics from $100, $200, USB mic. It's not hard, right? There are even mics that hook up to this for like $100 that have lavaliers. They're nice. They're good. Just start with some type of audio microphone or putting it through Adobe Podcast, whatever you're gonna do, make sure the audio is clear, people can hear it, and it's not going to be annoying where if I go to it, I'm gonna go away. So that's first and foremost, right? The next thing is, what is your purpose, right? What are you trying to think about the ending transformation from this message, right? For instance, in this call, right? This episode, class, whatever you want to call it today, I want you to not post every day, right? I want you to be more intentional about posting, right? I want you to make sure your audio is good. I want you to make sure the context of your message is good. And I want you to make sure your visuals is good. And then I want you to make sure you tell stories when you're giving your message, right? Those are the 4 pillars that I want you to understand after this video. And I want you to start posting this week, which I will say at the end, right? I'll give you a whole homework assignment and everything, right? I already knew what I wanted to do and then I went into it, right? This is what I want you to have after this message. So think about it. What do you want people to feel or do or believe after watching your content? That's really important, right? So this is a little trick, right? I did, it was so amazing, right? I downloaded a user guide to Final Cut, right? I downloaded the whole, you got a user manual for your car, you got user manuals for everything, your iPhone, there's user manuals for everything, right? And literally in that user manual, every answer every question to whatever you have is an answer in that user manual, believe it or not. But no one reads them, right? It's too long. But a cool trick I learned, right? Some people run out of ideas. So think about what industry you're in. If I was an editor, which I am too though, but if I was a content creator talking about Final Cut, right? I would go into Final Cut and I would get the user manual and I would take that user manual, I would upload it to a ChatGPT or, Claude, whatever it is. And I would say, hey, I need you to analyze this user manual and I want you to get the 5 top pieces of content that I can make from this user manual that no one's talking about online, right? It went and got me 5 things that I didn't even know about Final Cut. And now were some great topics, just like that. So when you say you are short on content, you're never short on content. You just have to be creative. I got a thing. Your only limitation with creativity is your mind. That's it. AI has created a platform, a playing field, where the only limitation is your imagination. That's it. The only limitation is your imagination. I had to think about how can I make more content. Then I thought about user manuals. There's so much information in there. No one reads them. I can get some content from there, and I'll just have an AI just read it real fast, analyze it, and pick 5 different pieces of content that no one is speaking about, right? Now, I take that, I look at it, and now I know what I want to make content for, and I know what I want the transformation to be after that piece of content. So, have to have a purpose. Better lighting is better than a camera. Like you see when I move out, so it's probably the sun outside, right? Like, cause I try to block it off as much as I can, the window. But in some cases, if I didn't I have a studio lighting here, right? Have studio lighting. But if I didn't have that, you can use the sun, right? The sun is the best source of light. Every light is trying to remake the sun, literally. Every single light, they gauge the meter of the quality of the light on how close it is to sunlight. So the sunlight is good. And in my case, I can't control the sunlight, right? Like you see it's bleaming, it's poking out and doing whatever it wants to do. With my studio light, I have a soft box over, I can control it. Like you can see a little bit of it in the M. I can control it. But sunlight, it's hard to control. That's why we don't use it as much. But if that's the only source of light, use that light, right? Use that light and have it hitting you in the front, never in the back. Have it coming to the front. But that's a whole nother episode for an episode. But let's be clear. Lighting is very important. You can have the best camera, you can have a red camera, the best camera in the world, but if the lighting's bad, it's not gonna look good. Versus you have an iPhone and a nice quality light, but it could be $100, $200 light. Don't even have to be, just has to be some lights, some type of a light source. LED light source, they're much less expensive and they're gonna get the job done. And that is what is important. So if you have to get in front of a window or you have to get a $100, $200 light from Amazon, go do it. But make sure you have some type of light source, because if you don't have a light source, the quality of the footage is gonna look flat. It's not going to be appealing to the eye. So that's the third pillar. We wanna make sure the visual is up to par, right? Because we're competing with the best, right? We started Earn Your Leisure, right? When we started Earn Your Leisure, we said we're gonna compete, our audio is gonna be on par with Drake. So that was the measure. That was like zero, right? But we have to be up here, right? We made our bar way up here. And that's why we became the biggest, right? Because we set our bars high from the start. That's what you need to do. You're competing with the top creators. You're competing with the top storytellers. You're competing with the top movie directors. You're competing with all of those people. So keep that in mind when you're making content. Don't be competing with everybody that's just starting off. If that's where you want to go, then stay there. But if you want to go up here, let me see if you can see me. You want to go way up here? You got to compete with those people up there. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? Say, I want to win in the chat. Say, I want to win. Say, I want to win. Stories would make content go viral, right? So I just posted a couple of regular photos, right? Now, if those photos were just posted with a simple comment on a caption on the story, they may have got a few likes, right? But I'm a big component in telling stories in the captions, because it adds more value, right, to the photo when you can know the context of the photo. What is so significant about this photo, right? Like, if I told you this was worth $1 million, like this was the first Joy Burst juice ever made, right? This is the first one. How much valuable does this become versus it just being a regular one? Joy Burst, I need a sponsorship. But just think about that, right? If that was the first Joy Burst that was ever created, that came out the machine or whatever, that was the prototype, this becomes more valuable because it has a story behind it. So we want to create stories behind all of our content. If you can create stories behind your content, you can make that content go much further. So as I was saying, I created this picture, right? But Getty, which is a big photo publisher, took pictures of me, right? They took pictures of me because I was at an event. And it was so significant to me because I used to be a photographer and I wanted to be a Getty photographer so bad because they got the most money, they got the most access, they were respected the most. I wanted to be a Getty photographer. Couldn't tell me nothing. And I stopped before I got to that point, thank God, because I love my life. But the significance about it is I wanted to be it so bad at one point. And then it got to a point where the tables would turn where Getty was taking pictures of me and putting my name on the site. That was strong. That was powerful, right? That story made those pictures so much more valuable. It connected to the people so much more, right? Don't give up on your dream. Sometimes you dream too short. I was dreaming to be the photographer. I never dreamed to be the photographer taking pictures of me. That's what it told me. Don't make your dreams so uncomfortable that it scares you. Like if I tell you my dreams and you're like, he's crazy, I'm dreaming great. That's a good dream. Y'all feel me? All right, so y'all got that. Storytelling's major key. So this is I'm gonna give a couple gems too. Primary content, right? You did your content, right? This is a way how to amplify your content all over. You take that content, you transcribe it, right? And then you tell ChatGPT, I want you to make captions and posts for all the different platforms. They're gonna give you a whole different, a different post for each different caption, right? Now, the story behind it, you wanna put that in the story. Now, if you did your content correct, you have the story in there if it's a video, right? Because you're transcribing it. But if you don't, you wanna tell the story. If it's just a picture or something, you wanna tell the story to the transcript based to the chat GPT, and then make the content from that story. So that's really important too. Another gem. Facebook is being slept on right now. Facebook is paying more than YouTube right now, believe it or not. Like if I get 1 million views in YouTube, it's about 10,000. If I get 1 million views in Facebook, it's about 12, maybe 14,000. So they're paying about 20 to 30% more. That's a really, really thing. So if you're not posting or you're not active on Facebook, let's get active on Facebook. The final level, you don't make content to become the content. You don't make content, you become the content. You don't make content, you become the content. Let's think about that, right? So I just posted my wife coming in when I was rehearsing speaking, right? Anytime I try to make content, the content doesn't do well. Anytime content is just made with me just being me, it does well. When I am the content, my content does well. When I'm trying to make the content, my content doesn't do well. What does that say? That say you have to immerse yourself in the content. You have to, one, have your recorder or videographer everywhere you go, right? Because then you start like, I don't want to think about making content. I want to be making content all the time, right? Everything I do has to be some type of content, right? If you really want to do this, you have to be the content, right? And I told my videographer, I said, listen, you just got to follow me around. Just let me be me. I don't want to get in front of the camera and make content. This is not what I do. I'm a funny, entertaining person by myself, right? So I have to just I am the content. I don't want to make content. I just want to be the content. So get footage of me. Now, what happens is when you start becoming the content, you start to think about everything is content, right? You're gonna start doing things different. You're gonna start moving different. Your whole mentality changes when you become the content. And that's what you wanna do. So maybe hire somebody for one day and just like think about the most busiest day you're gonna have, right? You're doing a lot of different things, connecting with a lot of different people. Hire a photographer, a videographer to follow you around that whole entire day and get all that footage and just pull content from it and see what happens to what it does online. That's going to change everything. And this is the thing. So you're posting every day, it's not working. All right, we pull back the things, right? And even if you wasn't, but if you have some data, very important, look at the data, right? We're gonna wrap up now. Look at the data, see what works, see what doesn't work, right? And now take one piece of high quality content and post once a week. The goal is to post every day, but we wanna post high quality content every day, right? That's the first thing, right? And then we're gonna build a system to make this process faster, right? To create content at an easier and a high efficient pace. That's what we wanna do, right? We don't wanna, that is a high efficient way to make content if you're just being you and someone's just recording you, right? That's it, right? And then every single week you add one, you add one, you add one, you add one, until you get in every day. And you focus on the formats that work. When I say formats, that's if I'm having fun with my wife, that's a format, family. I don't like to call that family, I like a relationship, right? Having fun with my kids, that's family, right? I am taking pictures, I'm doing a carousel talking about a story through pictures. That's a format, right? So focus on those formats, right? And then that's gonna build that foundation and help you catapult out of here. All right. And that I think I'm out of here. So this is the homework I want you to do, right? Identify your message. What is going to be the transformation you want people to deliver, right? We're going to record it with a high quality mic, iPhone if you have. And if the audio doesn't come out, we're going to take it to Adobe Podcast. I think you get like 30 credits for free. So take it to adobepodcast.com. Enhance it over there, right? We're going to think about a story we can write about this post. We want to connect with people, right? And you write the story. It has to be a story that people can connect with, right? Because I said the story about me wanting to be a Getty photographer and all that, and then they took pictures of me. But at the end of it, I was like, you're dreaming too small. A lot of times you make these dreams and you're dreaming too small. You got to dream so big that it scares you, right? I took my story and I spoke to you. So you want the stories to identify with you, but you're talking to someone else. You want the ending message to be talking to someone else. Very important. Repurpose on 2 platforms, TikTok, Twitter, whatever it is, right? But before you do it, transcribe it and ask ChatGPT what is going to work better for this platform and this platform. You don't want to do the same post on every platform. And then measure results. That's how we kind of see what works, what doesn't work. And we play with it. We play with it and see what works. And that is going to change everything. So listen, last thing before I go. This is one of the pillars that we speak about in the Business Engine. The Business Engine is my private grouping coaching community that we talk about every week. We break down, we pull back the layers on all these different frameworks, systems, sales, marketing, everything, right? And business model. If you are looking to grow your business to the next level, if you are stuck with your business and it's not working for you, you're just trying to figure it out, this might be a community for you, right? You connect with individuals that are just like you, that had issues. You might run across the same issue that someone else figured out in my community, right? And that might help you go to the next level, right? A lot of times, just one thing to stop you from getting to where you want to go. One thing. You can make one move in your business and everything could change. Well, that one move could be in the community. You just have to know that you're ready to make the change. If you're tired of being tired, this might be the community for you. I believe it is. I know it is. I know what I pour into it. So when you're ready to make the best decisions in your life, let's go. I wanted to leave y'all with that. I never really talk about my community like that. But I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 9 a.m. This is a new week, y'all. We going. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Later.